Thank you all for listening and watching my videos. Please subscribe and like my channel Master Coolitz. Hoping that you will not skip my ads, it's a big help for me by not skipping it. Thank you so much. Dragon Shadow. The Rise.
The anger in Lane's face is twisted with rage, and he held the jade pendant tightly in his hand.
Murphy's dead, and Zane Martell did it? No way. This doesn't add up. He shouldn't have stood a chance against Murphy unless... Did someone blow his cover?
A deep frown etched itself on Lane's face as he gazed into the distance. Unable to contain his unease any longer, he took to the skies, leaving his residence behind. Lane's form blurred as he soared through the air, his robes whipping around him. Below him, the five spirit sects sprawled out like a vast, intricate tapestry, unaware of the storm brewing within its ranks.
This changes everything. If Zane Martell truly defeated Murphy, our plans are in jeopardy.
Meanwhile, at the border of the Titan Academy, Harrison Xavier, Zane Martell, and Allura Xavier were standing outside a pavilion in the middle of a serene lake. The Titan Academy, home to the sect leader, was one of the most prestigious and secure locations within the Five Spirit sect. An audience there was not easily granted, underscoring the gravity of our hero's news.
Master Rudolph, we need to see the sect leader. It's critical.
The sect leader's not taking visitors today. Come back another time.
But this can't wait. What if?
I've said my piece. Take a hike.
Zane couldn't help but notice Master Rudolph's unwavering loyalty. In his eyes, only the sect leader mattered. Everything else was inconsequential. Xavier, familiar with Master Rudolph's temperament, realized they couldn't force their way in. The Titan Academy had its rules after all.
I suppose we have no choice but to return another day.
Master Rudolph, let them in.
As you wish, sir.
He then turned towards Xavier and the others.
Please, come in.
The three exchanged glances before following Master Rudolph into the pavilion. For Allura, this was her first time in the Titan Academy's central pavilion. Her eyes darted around, taking in every detail with unbridled curiosity. The pavilion was a marvel of cultivation architecture.
Zane, are you seeing this? It's incredible.
I know. Makes you realize just how much history and power the Five Spirit sect holds, doesn't it?
Their whispered exchange didn't escape the sect leader's notice. A small smile played on his lips, a mix of pride and amusement at their wonder. It seemed the sect leader had anticipated their visit. He had already prepared tea and was waiting for them to arrive.
Please have a seat.
Before anyone could speak, Zane had already downed the tea in front of him, his eyes fixed on the teapot with barely concealed interest.
Easy there, Zane Martell. It's just water this time, not that mystic spirit tea from before.
What can I say? I've got a thing for your tea. I mean, water?
If you like it so much, help yourself.
Don't mind if I do.
Zane wasted no time pouring himself another cup, downing it in one gulp before turning to Allura.
Allura, don't just stand there. The water here is amazing. You've got to try it.
Oh, okay.
Blushing slightly, Allura began sipping the water, much to the sect leader's amusement.
Sect leader, we've got trouble. Murphy from the White Wolf Academy? He was a Devil Flame sect spy.
The sect leader's expression instantly changed, his earlier mirth vanishing in an instant.
Tell me everything.
It was Zane Martell who uncovered this plot. He can explain it best.
Zane, how are you involved in this?
Zane set down his tea and recounted the entire ordeal. From Amara's abduction to the confrontation on Thousand Trees Mountain, including his final battle with Murphy.
I've never seen anything like it, sect leader. Zane's sword techniques, they were beyond what should be possible for his cultivation level.
Go on, Zane. What happened next?
As Zane Martell spoke, the air in the pavilion seemed to thicken. Those present could almost see the phantom images of the battle playing out before them. A testament to the young cultivator's growing ability to manipulate spiritual energy.
You actually managed to kill him?
Yes, I did.
It seems your time in the Sword Vigor Cliff wasn't wasted after all.
The sect leader's mind was already racing, considering the implications of this revelation.
If Murphy was indeed a Devil Flame sect spy, I fear our Five Spirit sect has been thoroughly infiltrated. With Murphy's death, the remaining spies will surely go to ground. Rooting them out won't be easy.
Sect leader, do you have a plan to counter this threat?
The sect leader's eyes narrowed as he turned to Zane, a mischievous glint in his eye.
So they want Zane 6 feet under, huh? Well, tough luck. Not only is he gonna live, but he's also gonna be our next Sword King candidate.
Wait, you're handing me the title just like that?
Don't get ahead of yourself, kid. Even if I wanted to, the other academies would throw a fit. You want that title? You gotta earn it. If you can't earn the qualification to be the Sword King candidate, you might as well leave the Five Spirit sect.
Zane fell silent, realizing the enormity of the task before him. Becoming the Sword King candidate was easier said than done.
Not only do I have to contend with Hugh, but there are also countless others in the Hall of the Holy Sword vying for this position. And many of them have a far deeper understanding of sword vigor than I do.
Lacking confidence, are we? I admit it's a lot of pressure, but if I could arrange for you to train at the Sword Vigor Cliff again, it might be possible.
Zane's eyes lit up at the suggestion.
The Sword Vigor Cliff, that's perfect. Give me half a month there, and I swear I'll make it happen.
Very well. I'll grant you half a month. Don't let me down.
I won't, sect leader.
That very night, Zane arrived at the Sword Vigor Cliff to begin his intensive training. With only half a month remaining, he couldn't afford to waste a single moment. Day and night, Zane immersed himself in comprehending the mysteries of sword vigor. Gradually, his understanding deepened, and he began to develop his own unique insights into the art of sword.
I can feel it. The rhythm of the sword, the flow of energy. It's like a vast, intricate tapestry, and I'm just beginning to see the pattern.
As days passed, Zane's movements became more fluid, more precise. The air around him hummed with barely contained energy, and even the wildlife of the area seemed to sense the growing power within the young cultivator. Zane's progress was nothing short of miraculous. Techniques that would take others years to master, he grasped in days. It was as if the Sword Vigor Cliff itself had recognized something special in him, imparting its wisdom more freely than it had in generations. 3 days into his training, after consuming a large quantity of Three Souls pills, Zane felt the vital energy in his body begin to surge. A vortex of vital energy formed in his energy center, pouring into the sky thunder of the dark domain tree. Thunder crackled through Zane's body, accompanied by muffled booms. Flashes of dark silver light illuminated the darkness around him. Suddenly, with a deafening crack, Zane's aura surged once more. He had broken through to the 9th stage of the foundation level. The 9th stage of the foundation level represented the pinnacle of power before a cultivator could attempt to break through to the intermediate level. Zane Martel's rapid progress was nothing short of miraculous, a testament to both his talent and the potency of the Sword Vigor Cliff. A brief smile of joy crossed Zane's face, but it quickly faded as he refocused on his task. He knew he couldn't afford to waste a single moment of this precious opportunity. To maximize his training, Zane pushed himself to the limit. He would train intensively for 5 days straight before allowing himself a single night of rest, repeating this grueling cycle over and over. His dedication paid off. Zane's comprehension of sword radiance reached astonishing new heights. As Zane gazed upon the Sword Vigor Cliff, time seemed to blur. Visions of the past flickered before his eyes. The awe-inspiring scene of the Sword King single-handedly sealing away the 5 ancestors. Ethereal sword marks danced in the air, weaving intricate patterns that burned themselves into Zane's mind. Each stroke, each flourish seemed to whisper ancient secrets of the sword. In the serene yet tense atmosphere of Sword Vigor Cliff, Zane Martel unknowingly stayed for half a month, immersing himself in relentless cultivation. Each day, the sun cast long shadows across the rocky outcrop, mirroring the internal battles of the young swordsman. As time flowed, Xavier reached the peak of the 7th stage of the foundation level, his confidence growing daily. Meanwhile, Eric Helm, handpicked by Master Evans, advanced to the 6th stage with newfound determination. Hugh Grayson wasn't idle either, hovering on the brink of the intermediate level. The day arrived when disciples from the 4 major cultivation academies gathered on the peak of the Hall of the Holy Sword. The peak, surrounded by towering mountains and blanketed by mist, added an aura of mystique. An air of anticipation hung over the crowd of 300 to 400 elite spectators, eager to witness the selection of the king's sword candidates. The hall, built of ancient stone and adorned with intricate carvings of legendary battles, pulsed with the energy of those who had come before. Among the 10 candidates were renowned figures from various academies: Zane Martell, Hugh Grayson, and Kurt Jensen from Azure Dragon, Tessa, Ian Hughes, and Jack Hill from Fire Scorpion, Grant Young, Liam Quinn, and Jason Lin from White Wolf, and Taryn from Celestial Turtle. Each academy had its unique traditions and strengths, their banners fluttering in the breeze, symbolizing their pride and history. 4 figures descended, joining the disciples. The atmosphere crackled with excitement and nerves. The candidates' eyes met, a silent understanding passing between them. Today, they were not just representatives of their academies, they were rivals in a battle for glory.
Zane, Hugh, Kurt, you must work hard. Only one candidate from our Azure Dragon Academy has emerged as a contender for King's Sword. Listen closely to the rules.
The rules were simple, yet daunting. In the Valley of Sealed Swords, candidates had to use their understanding of the art of sword and their sword vigor to connect with the sealed sword within an hour. The top 5 would proceed to the next round, testing their application of sword vigor, ultimately narrowing it down to 2 finalists. The fierce wind outside heralded the arrival of Maxwell Reed, the Deputy Hall Chief. Maxwell, a figure of imposing stature, commanded respect and silence. His piercing blue eyes scanned the crowd, his expression unreadable, but his aura undeniably powerful.
Greetings, Deputy Hall Chief.
The King's Sword selection begins now. Follow me to the Valley of Sealed Swords.
The 10 disciples moved towards the Valley of Sealed Swords, a place filled with tens of thousands of sealed swords, each exuding a unique sword vigor. The valley, vast and winding, was shrouded in an eerie silence, broken only by the occasional clink of metal as the swords shifted in the breeze. The challenge was clear: pull out as many swords as possible from 3 designated zones, with increasing difficulty and points.
Don't be overconfident. The high-level area is tough. Don't hurt yourselves. Begin.
The candidates rushed into the sealed sword domain, with the crowd speculating on the potential victor. The spectators, a mix of seasoned warriors, academy students, and elders, exchanged hushed whispers, their eyes following the candidates with keen interest.
Who do you think will win?
Hugh has reached Heartsword integration. It has to be him.
Don't underestimate Zane. He's formidable too.
I heard Taryn from Celestial Turtle is the real contender.
Taryn? But she's so unassuming.
She reached Heartsword integration before joining the sect. She's a prodigy.
As the crowd buzzed with excitement, Taryn, the seemingly ordinary girl with extraordinary talent, caught everyone's attention. Her innocent demeanor, framed by long flowing hair and wide, curious eyes, contrasted sharply with her prowess. She moved with quiet grace, each step purposeful, her gaze unwavering. Most candidates headed to the second-level area, but Zane Martell, Hugh Grayson, Tessa, and Taryn chose the third-level area, the most challenging zone. Zane wandered alone, sensing the sword vigor acutely, a skill honed during his time at Sword Vigor Cliff.
No need to choose the strongest-looking swords. Trust my instincts.
His gaze settled on a short sword emitting a golden glow. The sword's vigor, fierce like a beast, rushed at him, but Zane's sharp eyes and confident stance indicated he was ready. He recalled the teachings of his mentor, the importance of understanding and harmony with the sword, rather than brute force.
How dare you, an insignificant sealed sword, show off your skills?
With a surge of power, Zane subdued the sword's vigor, impressing those watching closely. The audience, a mix of spectators and experts, watched intently. Among them were seasoned warriors who had faced similar challenges in their youth. their expressions a mix of nostalgia and respect. Suddenly, a clear sound cut through the tension.
Look, someone pulled it out.
All eyes turned to Taryn, who had effortlessly drawn a sword and was already moving to the next one, her speed and skill astonishing everyone, including Zane. Her movements were fluid and precise, a testament to her deep understanding of the art of sword.
So fast?
The scene was set. The stakes were high. Who would emerge as the true King's Sword candidate? The tension was palpable, the outcome uncertain. Each candidate pushed their limits, their faces set in expressions of determination and resolve. The battle had just begun, and with every passing second, the air thickened with suspense. Who would conquer the Valley of Sealed Swords and claim the title of King's Sword? The answer lay just beyond the next drawn sword. And so the selection continued, each candidate pushing their limits, their fates hanging in the balance. The valley seemed to come alive with their efforts, the air humming with the energy of their determination. What awaited them in the depths of the valley? Only time would reveal the true King's Sword. As Zane continued his search, his thoughts wandered back to his time at Swordvigor Cliff. He remembered the words of his mentor, Master Evans. A true swordsman does not fight against the sword. He fights alongside it. Feel the energy, let it guide you. The wind picked up, carrying with it the faint sounds of metal clashing and the occasional shout of triumph or frustration. Zane's heart pounded in his chest, not from fear, but from the thrill of the challenge. He could feel the eyes of the spectators on him, their expectations heavy on his shoulders.
I can't let them down. I have to prove myself.
Nearby, Hugh Grayson was locked in his own struggle. His face, usually calm and composed, was now etched with determination. He moved with the grace of a dancer, his sword a blur as he engaged with one sealed sword after another.
Every challenge is an opportunity. I must seize it.
Tessa, known for her fierce competitiveness, tackled the swords with a combination of brute strength and finesse. Her eyes blazed with intensity, every swing of her sword a testament to her relentless drive.
I won't back down, not now, not ever.
Grant Young, on the other hand, approached the challenge with a calm and calculated demeanor. His movements were deliberate, his focus unwavering. He understood that haste could be his downfall. Precision over speed, control over chaos. Liam Quinn and Jason Lin, both from White Wolf Academy, worked in unison, their strategies complementing each other. They moved through the valley with a practiced ease, their partnership a silent testament to their training.
Together, we're unstoppable.
We have to trust each other.
As the minutes ticked by, the tension in the valley grew. The crowd watched with bated breath, their eyes darting from one candidate to another. Each drawn sword was met with cheers or gasps, the emotional stakes climbing higher. Taryn, despite her unassuming appearance, continued to draw sword after sword with an almost effortless grace. Her eyes, calm and focused, scanned the valley, her instincts guiding her to the next challenge.
Stay calm. Trust yourself.
Zane, seeing Taryn's progress, felt a surge of competitiveness. He knew he had to step up his game if he wanted to keep up. His eyes fell on a particularly stubborn, sealed sword, its aura fierce and intimidating.
This is it. My chance to prove myself.
He approached the sword, his mind clearing of all distractions. He could feel the sword's resistance, its energy pushing back against him, but Zane was undeterred. He channeled his own energy, focusing it into a single powerful surge.
You will not defeat me.
With a final decisive move, Zane pulled the sword free. The crowd erupted in applause, the sound echoing through the valley. Zane's heart swelled with pride, but he knew the battle was far from over. As the selection process continued, each candidate faced their own trials and triumphs. The valley, once silent, was now alive with the sounds of determination and effort. Every drawn sword brought them one step closer to the ultimate goal, becoming the King's Sword. Who would emerge victorious? The answer lay in the heart of the valley, in the spirit of each contender, and in the swords they sought to master. The selection was far from over, and the path to the King's Sword was fraught with challenges. As the candidates pushed their limits, the true test of their skills and resolve had only just begun. What awaited them in the depths of the valley? Only time would reveal the true Kingsword.